Welcome to the Mad Panda podcast, where hip hop has no expiration date. I am Nate, along here with Silas, and today we're diving deep into everything hip hop. Let's get it.
As usual, thanks for joining in. Please like, share, and subscribe so we can keep building together. Today, I think we're going to talk about groups or rappers who've had the best run of albums. I don't know if just groups, or do you want to do, can it be MCs or?
We can try to do groups.
Let's do groups.
Yeah, let's just try to do groups.
So basically the ones that have had,
keep it easy for.
yeah, like a good run, longest, most consistent, I guess.
Yeah, most consistent, most, I guess, who stayed together, the longest too.
Well, I'm going to start that off with the greatest group of all time, De La Soul. Because they, from 86, 87, and with the exception of Dave passing away a couple of years ago, they're still a group.
All
three members up to his death, and then the other two. The one you could kind of question is Prince Paul, because he was their producer for their first three albums.
Yeah.
And was kind of considered part of the group, but he wasn't an official member.
Got you.
So the three core, basically, guys were in the group for, was that 34 years, something like that?
So they was there from the start of De La Soul.
The three of them, until he passed away. And then Paz and Mace are still doing their thing. Yeah, still kind of together as a group. So in that sense, as far as just longevity with no like personnel change, I think their hands down would be the winner. For hip hop at least.
Okay,
so,
well,
yeah.
Well then, okay, how many albums did they put out all together?
Ooh, I should know the answer to that. So you've got 3 Feet High, you've got
De La
Dead, Balloon Mind State,
Takes Us High,
Artificial Intelligence, Bionics. I should know. I'm embarrassing myself again. I'm forgetting them. I have them all.
It's all good.
There's two others there, and then there's like this kind of a bootleg that's them rapping over Dilla tracks. It's kind of like an official bootleg. No, there's a few others, but I think it's like 8.
Well, okay, now that's
7 or 8 solid. Yeah,
that's a long run.
And as far as like solid, their first 4, I think, are hands down, in my opinion, like 5 mics. From if you want to go back to the old Source magazine rating, 5 mics was the top.
5 mics.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I would put all 4 of those albums as solid 5 mics in my opinion.
No.
So just as far as quality, you have a 10-year period of just perfect album.
Got you.
And then the ones after that are 3 to 4 mics. So they're still solid albums.
Yeah, that is very hard to beat right there.
I think even if you're not a huge fan of it, also you have to give them credit for staying together.
Yeah.
Because so many other groups have,
dissipated and died off. And
like, I mean, you could put Pop on that list, but, Terminator X he left after a while and they replaced. Flavor Flav's been kicked out of the group a few times.
No, really? He's been kicked? Yeah. I didn't know that. Well, I thought he might have just been like left and.
There was a few where I think in fact, they sued each other at one point. But
really? Chuck D and.
Yeah, or he sued Public Enemy, like for saying he wasn't getting shares, but it was
okay.
But then Chuck was like, "No, we're cool. It's just business stuff."
Gotcha.
And then there, like Professor Griff was in it for a while, and then he left, and then was back. So, as far as Chuck D, he's been Public Enemy for 40 years, but the group itself has had some numerous changes. But
got you.
Their last album had Griff on it, had Flav on it.
Yeah.
It didn't have Terminator X, but so it's still. Again, that's a pretty good run. So, quality-wise, I think, after their first 4 albums, it's kind of hit or miss, but they're all at least decent albums.
I think that's also a good thing, too, with the business side is matching the music side of it.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, with De La, I mean, I'm not sure how their business kind of went, but it don't seem like if you've been together, 30 years, it seems like you had bad business with anybody in the group.
Yeah, I think probably what was good for them is they had bad business with their record label, so they kind of like had to
they would join together,
Tommy Boy, so that may have helped, gave them like a common enemy, so they weren't fighting with each other. But I think you're right. I think financial is the one that, especially when you look outside hip hop, all the punk bands or rock bands, it's always somebody mad because they didn't get paid right or something like that, or somebody's taking too much credit and making more money. So you have to have your business right to stay together for that long. So
that is a great one. That is a great one. De La Soul. I guess we would put Public Enemy on there as well.
Yeah, to an extent. Yeah, because they've
they
doing
in and out and stuff. Mm-hmm.
But I don't think anybody's done the 100% like De La did. So
yeah, I probably had to say one. I wouldn't want to say this group is my favorite, but I do also want to mention Outkast. Yeah, because just with Big Boy and Andre.
And they had what, four?
I think 4 albums.
You had Southern Playlistic Cadillac Music, and then
AT Aliens,
and then
Stankonia?
Yeah,
Stankonia,
and then
there's the Speaker Boxer.
That was a double album.
Yeah, that was a double album.
Did you consider that a group album because it was like 2 solo albums packaged together, wasn't it? Kind of.
No, that's exactly what it was because Big Boy and Andre was on 2 different spectrums on that point. So but I'm still have to consider it. I would say yeah.
So that's 5 solid albums because Aquemini?
Aquemini. Oh yeah,
so that's
oh my god. Yeah, Aquemini was a
just a note on there. Because how Andre, he just put out his flute album, and it said he was kind of bored with rapping. I read a quote yesterday. He said that the whole Kendrick and Drake thing inspired him, and he's thinking about rapping again. But he said,
man,
don't plan on a Outkast album.
Oh, really?
Like get a Andre album.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm cool with that because his verses lately have just been crazy.
He's almost had a better career as a feature than he did as.
Yes, that is the weirdest thing too.
Because if you look at the albums, there's great stuff, there's decent stuff. But features are always like on point, like solid the way through.
Yeah, most definitely. And that's what I'm saying. That who can do that in the rap game to where you can go solo and not even put out an album, a rap album. It can still be considered a dope MC, a great MC. And
there's few that have that. I mean,
yeah, and one of the greatest to ever do it.
I would say somebody that's similar, but I wouldn't call him as good as MC. Would be like Snoop. Like
Snoop, yes,
he's just been consistent, even though he's put a lot of terrible albums out.
Yeah, he got like I think he drops like a lot of albums. So there's some good.
I haven't listened to it yet. I don't know if you saw. He and Dre just put out a fully produced album called Missionary.
I have not heard it.
It's gotten some decent reviews actually.
Oh yeah,
like some of the sites I follow that actually I respect their opinion have given it. Basically saying it's better than anyone expected it to be. I think.
Oh okay.
Yeah. So
the last Snoop album I heard was I Wanna Thank Me. I think that's what it's called.
Remember that one?
Yeah, I think it was a couple years ago. It was called I Wanna Thank Me. It was cool. It had some joints on there. But
couldn't tell you the last album I've listened to by him.
Yeah, it's been a while for you. It's been a while. But yeah, let me reel it back in.
Yeah.
Outkast. So I wanted to put them on there, even though
a good run though. I mean, to do 5 albums that all are considered classics. I mean, that's and legitimate. Even like I'm not a huge Outkast fan, but I would still consider all those albums really good albums.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. So
and also like making a sound for themselves.
Definitely.
Because there wasn't the stereotypic type of Southern rap they was doing at that time. It was kind of
and I don't think anybody else from the South has ever done anything quite like them either.
Yeah.
Even the people that are affiliated with them. It's still not the same. They're in their own kind of realm. Like Southern, but funk, but also classic hip hop.
Yeah, it's a mix of a lot.
Yeah.
I want to give props to Big Boy for staying with Andre and backing him up. Because when Andre was going, his changes through within the group, and it's got to the point where because you can see how they first started, and then when Andre started to we're all like the funkadelic type stuff like that, it's the Big Boy still riding with him.
But still just looking exactly the same.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, always with the hat.
And I don't know what the personal stuff they had. Maybe he talked to Andre or something like that. Maybe I don't know, but
I don't know if
publicly wise, he always stood by Andre.
Yeah.
So I would say I want to give Big Boy his.
And the quote I said didn't really say why there wouldn't be an Outkast album. He just said, "Don't expect an Outkast album."
Yeah.
He did say he's thinking of rapping again. So.
Well, I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
I'm happy for that.
I'd like to hear. I was. Kind of bugged me because his flute album's not bad.
It's not
bad if you like jazz, but if you want good jazz flute, there's a lot better out there.
Okay.
So it's kind of like it's cool that you sold a lot of records and you introduce people to this kind of music. But
yeah.
you know, instead of buying his album, you should have bought like Shabaka Hutchins, like
Okay, somebody who's a real
great jazz artist that does flute and does different things.
I don't want to say real.
Flute artist, like a true jazz artist.
Yeah.
So I'm not taking anything away from
Andre.
It was a good album in that sense, but I wish those sales had gone to like
got you
true jazz musicians.
Okay.
I don't know. I guess I'm kind of making.
No, it's all good. Well, Andre, I didn't check it out because
it's not a hip hop album in any sense.
Yeah, I want to hear him spit bars.
I know that's what everybody. Wait a second.
I want Andre on the track.
Downloaded or bought the record hoping
he might have said something in there.
At least one rap song on there. Even though he kept telling everybody there was no rap on there.
Yeah.
On there. But I think everybody was like, there has to be one song on there. But
yeah, I mean, overall, I feel like this is one that just made him happy. And
I give him credit. I mean, he's an artist and like, there's plenty of artists out there that have put out stuff that I didn't want them to put out because I wanted them to put out the stuff I like. But at the same time, they're artists. It's like it's their prerogative to do
whatever that makes them feel.
Their art takes them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just because I want Andre to rap doesn't necessarily mean he should be rapping, I guess.
Yeah.
Although I think he should.
Yeah, me too. I'm in that boat. You know what I'm saying? I crave it sometimes. You feel me? But yeah, Mr. 3 Stacks, Andre 3 Stacks.
I was gonna say Tribe Called Quest because they had they had what People's Instinctive Travels, Low End Theory, Midnight
Marauders.
Those three are all solid 5 mic type albums. And then was the Love Movement the next one, or was there? I think there was one between.
There was one between that. I don't know.
Those were okay albums. And then they broke up for a long time, and then they put out that one just after 5 passed a few years ago. Thank You. We Have It From Here or something. I forget the name of it. And it was actually a good album too.
I did listen to it, so
it wasn't bad. It was definitely not Low End Theory, which we've talked. That's my favorite Quest album.
Yeah.
But it was a good album. But if just for those first 3 albums, that's a solid run. I mean, I think so many groups can't even make it to like 2
songs. Yeah, right. 2 albums.
3, and then the next 2 were good albums. They just weren't as good, I guess. So to have 5 pretty good like great albums or good albums,
okay,
it's a pretty good run. So yeah, I would definitely. And then to come back 10, 12, 15 years later and put out another good album, and it was the same core, it's the same group. It was the same guys. So
yeah.
I think the only person that wasn't really around the whole time was Jerobi, but he was more of a hype man. I don't know if he even rapped on their first album.
Yeah, I'm not sure if
Yeah, he went off to become a chef, and I think he did pretty well at that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I do think he was maybe something on the last album that they did. I think he may have said something on there or something, but I can't remember for sure off the top. But yeah, so that's another that I would say has done a good run.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they did it. Yeah, they did their thing.
Yeah.
Tribe Called Quest, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. This might be a little different, but I'm gonna have to put the Migos on there. The Migos.
See, my problem is that the criteria is a good album.
Except I feel like they have some good joints. I mean,
word for that.
Let's see. I don't want to say the name off the top, but I remember Culture 1 and 2 were pretty good. But I'm just saying, as for a group sticking together wise, they pretty much stuck together up until I think the death of Takeoff.
Okay.
Which is one of the 3 members out of them.
So how many albums did they put out? Do you know?
Maybe 4 or 5.
Okay.
I'm not sure because there's like mixtapes in there as well. They kind of can be considered as albums, or might I don't know how it really works.
That might be a discussion topic: is mixtapes versus albums.
Oh yeah,
so something to think about.
Oh yeah, that's I'm gonna have a lot to say on that. But
yeah, we have different views of what a mixtape would be. But yeah.
So I want to put the Migos on there for a quick one because since I knew them, when they came out, they've been together up until the death of Takeoff. I mean, they're kind of split up now just because Quavo and Offset are doing their own thing. They both kind of have their own solo careers now. But
do you think they'll do another Migos album?
No, not without Takeoff. I think it's kind of gone now. I mean, maybe they will, maybe they change their mind, but I don't know. But I was hearing things was getting a little shaky before Takeoff was his passing. So
it's probably financial again.
It probably, or maybe, I don't know. I hope so. I don't know, but things was getting a little shaky between the group anyway. But yeah, those groups. Who else you got?
I'd say Atmosphere, which I don't talk too much about them. So
they're about them.
Minneapolis. It's an MC and a producer. So it's a guy named Slug, and then the producer Ant. They've put out. Oh my God, it's probably like from here to here.
Okay, dang.
Yeah. So they've put out
a good chunk of music.
Yeah, the late 90s. I think they've put out a lot of stuff. And most of it is good. Like, actually, everything is good. Some of it is great.
Okay.
Some of it's, decent, but it's consistently, like, creative and entertaining. I think Ant's an underrated producer. I think more people should
listen to him.
Yeah, and he's actually just recently, he's been putting out these records that are just, like, beats of his that, like, I forget the names of them.
Oh,
but he's putting out, I think it's a series of 4 records, and they're all just a collection of beats that he's done over the years that were never used.
Yeah.
So they're just
like just unreleased type stuff.
Yeah, and like I think each album has like a different feel to it. Like I think they just announced number 3, and I think it said it was like reggae style stuff, like where he sampled reggae and things like that. But if you're familiar with Brother Ali, he produced the first 3 or 4 Brother Ali albums, and those were, I actually think the beats he gave Brother Ali were better than he did but I think that's probably just because Ali it was his beat selection versus Slug's beat selection. But
yeah,
and the cool thing on that is they actually have an album coming out again, because Brother Ali went off with a few other people, different producers, and now he has another one that's been completely produced by Ant. So I'm looking forward to that one in February.
Okay, I forgot which album I listened to by Brother Ali. It was 2 of them.
Okay,
but
it might have been I think I told you his latest one, which I can't think of the name of it, but it's
there was one that was just like done in like.
Oh, you think her brother and sister?
Something like that.
Yeah, it was a concept he did where he produced, and they were all like 1-minute songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, called Brother Minister.
Yeah, Minister. Yeah.
I listened to Minute.
Yeah. That's the one I listened to.
And it was really cool, but it's quick as hell. It's like a 12-minute album or a 14-minute album or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's really good stuff though too. They're like just cool little quick little run through. But yeah, I would put Atmosphere on there because they've done some really good stuff over the years, and it's just the 2 of them, and and I think their secret is also that they do a lot of things. Like Slug works with other people all the time. He's done some other little group projects with different people.
Yeah.
Ant produces various other artists and DJs and stuff. So yeah, I think that's kind of been their secret, is that they do their own thing and then they get back together. Yeah, and do it. So yeah, I would put them. I mean, like I said, I can't remember when Overcast came out, but it was probably like 98. And then they just put out an album. Was it earlier this year or late last year? So they're still consistently for 20, 25 years, something like that. Yeah. So yeah, that would be a pretty consistent one there.
You said Atmosphere is the name of the group?
Yeah, Atmosphere.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I'll give you a couple of their albums. There's one called Lucy Ford. That's probably their best album. There's some really good songs in there. And then Overcast was their first album. But then there was like some stuff, like these group projects that I think called Dino Spectrum, and I think that may have actually been the first release.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but it had a few other people on it. It wasn't just the 2 of them. It was like them and some other part of the Rhyme Savers crew out of Minneapolis there.
So, got you.
Yeah. So, yeah, definitely, and that's a good one.
Well, yeah, Atmosphere is on that list.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I guess you can't speak of groups without speaking of the most world's dangerous group.
Oh,
NWA. So, I mean, there's really nothing to say about it, like it's NWA, they, as group wise, I feel like they are like one of the first ones besides like Public Enemy to like actually shoot out to be like wildly popular among the world.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely were worldwide. My problem is, I think once Ice Cube left, I really didn't care for anything they put out after that.
When it was just Ruthless and...
Yeah, when it was, what was the 4 Life album, which was their second one. And then the 100 Miles and Running, I think, was the EP they did. Like, they were decent, but they were not great albums to me. And even the very first album, NWA and the Posse, like,
that one.
sparks of genius, but it just was still rough around the edges.
Yeah.
Where Straight Outta Compton is a masterpiece. So that's where I would not necessarily include them on the greatest runs, just because to me that's their only really like. But
okay,
I know there's other people out there that do love the post Ice Cube albums.
Yeah, I mean I like Peace for Life.
Yeah, but but I will give you for as far as
the influence wise.
Yeah. There's a few groups that have had that kind of influence, because I mean it basically opened the door for the whole Death Row and funk and stuff is all kind of
tree branch that just kept growing.
Like if they hadn't been so popular, we may never have heard of
Snoop.
Yeah, or any of them. You know. Yeah.
Eminem.
Yeah, none of that. Yeah, so much of that came from that tree. So
yeah. So I had to add NWA on there. Also, I feel like another group is I don't want to say their run was really really good, just like NWA's, but of course the Wu-Tang Clan just being a legendary group. First of all, I think this might have been the first group that had this many members in the group in the first place.
Yeah, it's one of the only groups that have really had that many. All those side projects. So if you want to type like a run of just a group, you do have like there was like 5 Wu-Tang albums, right?
I believe so.
There was
36 Chambers.
Yeah, and then there was Worldwide. No,
there's a Worldwide. Yeah, Wu-Tang Forever. Also, they did another joint too, but I'm starting to think about like the side, what you call it, the side albums.
Yeah, if you talk about all their group album.
Yeah,
guest here.
Sugar wanna speak on some topics over here.
She was about to hit the keyboard.
Oh yeah.
Turn off our recording. So sorry about that.
No, it's all good.
Yeah, but just their solo albums were pretty good. But yeah, if you want to talk a full run though, I mean, there's 20 albums, probably 30 albums.
Yeah, it is.
We're talking, so I don't know.
Keep up.
Yeah, there's so many of them. It's almost too much. I haven't listened to.
Yeah, then they had that one album that was They had that one album that sold for $1 million or something like that.
Oh, to that piece of shit investor guy.
Yeah, I forget.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Yeah, which nobody can listen to for 100 years or something like that. Yeah, I don't know that. Yeah.
So yeah, they got
if it's even any good, but
yeah, I know, right? I'm kind of curious, like what was on there.
But yeah, as far as a good run and influence, I think there's few groups that have had that kind of impact on the world of hip hop, just because there was so much that came out of it, and
and how they, had that many stars that come out of that one group too as well. That's they had Meth, RZA, Raekwon, GZA, old dirty bastard, Spectre Deck, yeah. So I mean Ghostface, and it's keep going on. So
well, and then you talk about all the offshoots, like was it Killer Bees? Yeah, and then Killer Army, I think actually maybe I don't know. There was a couple like that, and then there was a few different like producers that were kind of offshoots. Yeah. One group that would be similar, but without the worldwide like influence would be Living Legends.
Living Legends.
Yeah, and I think we've talked briefly about them. They're a West Coast, and they were a collective, but it was like multiple members. You had Murs, and you had PSC, and Sunspot Jones, and Eli, Grouch, Scarab. I'm sure there's a few others, but they did various things together. There was like Mystic Journeyman was PSC and Sunspot Jones, and then Three Melancholy and Gypsies was like Eli and Scarab and Murs, and then Grouch and Eli do Genie music, and then they've done Living Legends albums.
Yeah.
So, and they, as far as the worldwide underground, they have a huge influence because they have a lot of popularity overseas in Japan, and they've toured them worldwide, but they just don't have the mainstream influence that the Wu-Tang had. But they're kind of similar in that there was this kind of big group that kind of formed together. Yeah, and just worked together and did stuff, and lots of
Murs,
M-U-R-S. You may have heard of him. He has a podcast called The Greatest Rapper Out of LA or something like that.
Yeah, I think I might have seen him somewhere. Either it was like
he did some stuff with producer from Little Brother. What's his name?
It's my Ninth Wonder.
Yeah, Ninth Wonder.
Okay.
He did 2 or 3 albums with Ninth Wonder.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's done a lot. He's worked with a lot of people. Hit or miss for me. I like some of his stuff a lot.
Yeah.
Mercer Rules the World was a great track. I like that one. Trevor and Me, that's a cool song. He's like, pulls up at the 7-Eleven and then his boy Trevor robs the 7-Eleven and comes running out and jumps in his car.
Oh my goodness.
You know, and just, it's like a 2-minute long little story, but yeah. But that's the one that has had a good run overall. I didn't like their last group album that came out last year, but
yeah.
But overall they've had a really good run and have done some good music. So
that's good. That is good.
Yeah. I think that's kind of not fitting our definition, though, is it? Because it's more.
I mean, but I guess yeah. But you know, as far as the aspect I'm looking on, it is kind of like who had the best, greatest albums, who stayed together the longest.
Yeah.
Who kind of had more influential.
Yeah.
On
both of those groups, I think, do.
Yeah, and who just kind of popular in their aspect, and who changed their, I guess, region, you know, from west to east or whatever like that.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, since we talking about changing regions, I had to put UGK on there as well.
Yeah.
Because they kind of like, you know, help the South get.
Yeah, they really help.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I think even before them, you could throw Ghetto Boys on there because they had a decent run of albums, you know, from Can't Be Stopped was one of them, but they had like 3 or 4 albums before they kind of fell apart, I think.
Yeah, I think they had like a Resurrection album too. I think that's what it was. I don't know if that was a song or that was album. Because I was more of a Scarface fan than a Ghetto Boys fan, if that made sense.
Yeah, well, I think they broke up probably before you started
listening to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think they first came out in the late 80s, like 88, 89, when it was like, because I remember it was a black album cover with 4 of them, because it was Willie D, Scarface, Bushwick Bill, and then there was actually a 4th member at the time.
A little light-skinned dude or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember who that is.
I can't remember either. And then I think their next album was We Can't Be Stopped, and that's the one with Bushwick on the gurney. And
going to the house.
Tricks on Me.
Okay.
Yeah. And then they had at least 1 or 2 more albums after that. And at that point, I think it was just Willie D and Scarface and Bushwick.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so I think they opened the door for
a lot of like
UGK, and then kind of introduced that. And I think Scarface has always brought a lot of validity to Southern hip hop because he is an MC and a good storyteller. So
yeah, most definitely.
Yeah,
which I listened to a lot of Scarface back then. So yeah, he definitely was one of those ones who, like you said, bring up a lot of validity to it.
Yeah,
like, that's when I started taking it serious. Yeah,
you know, like a rapper, he's an MC. Kind of go back to our previous.
Yeah. Yeah, he's an MC.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because then we get like UGK, like we said, we get them out of the whole Ghetto Boys era.
Yeah.
And then they help like launch it even further than what it was.
Yeah. Well, I think you could even put like Outkast and them into that because it brought attention to the South.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if those groups hadn't come first, then you may not have ever heard of Outkast.
Yeah,
ever broken out of the regional.
And then we got Goody Mob as well coming out of there too.
Goody Mob.
But I'm being real. I don't really know too much of Goody Mob. So
I'm not a huge fan. There was the one song about something in the window.
Yeah, who's that creeping?
Yeah, I kind of like that song, but overall I was never a huge fan. But I did, again, had a lot of respect for them. You know, I think because they were all actually pretty talented.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's see, who's another? You know, Beastie Boys might be a good one.
Ah, yeah. Wow, forgot.
I mean, every one of their albums to me has been a good album. You know, even though.
And you got one of them right there too.
Which one? Oh yeah, I've got License to Ill up there. Yeah, but I mean, from then, you know, they started out, and I think if you listen to License to Ill, I don't think anybody would have thought that they'd still be around for so long and to put out such groundbreaking albums like the Ill Communication, and the Check Your Head album is probably my favorite album by them. And I'm trying to think of the album before that, the one with Hey Ladies on it.
The Hey Lady?
Yeah, and the cowbell.
Yeah.
And I know the cover, it's got Paul's Boutique, that's what it is. So,
okay.
But yeah, so you have License to Ill, Paul's Boutique, Check Your Head, Ill Communication, To the Five Boroughs, I think.
Okay.
And then there was another one after that. But then they also had several, like, there was like their punk album that was just straight punk. And then there was like instrumental, kind of funk. Yeah. So they did some different things, but their main core, again, their influence kind of stretches outside of hip hop though, because a lot of like kind of punk and ska bands and stuff, I think,
come from that.
Yeah. But
that bridge of.
I also think they've always been super respected.
Yeah, because I never really heard. Yeah, I never really heard nobody disrespect or like say that Beastie Boys is rap.
And I think because they've always been very respectful of the culture too. They've never really come across as like culture vultures. They've just basically love hip hop, love punk, love funk, and just make damn good music.
Yep.
Yeah, but I think they've always been very respectful of it. So that's but their influence is far and wide. I mean, they had Q-Tip on some of their stuff. They've had Biz Markie. They've worked with
yeah.
It was a DJ Hurricane, I think. Master Mike was on there for a while with them. So they've always had some good stuff. So yeah, I would definitely put them as just a solid. And I think you would probably still be seeing good stuff from them if MCA hadn't passed away.
Mm-hmm. How long has it been since he passed away?
Wow, probably it's been 10 years.
Yeah, I think it's been over 10 years. At least that's what it feel like for me, because
that was still.
I think it's why I heard it,
because he's not much older than I am. So yeah, so that one kind of gets me. Yeah, and I like the fact that they've respected, because in his will he basically said, you can't use my music for anything commercial. And they've respected that as a group. I think they've all had that same kind of mindset. Yeah. And I think that's something we've talked about the bastardization of dead MCs or dead musicians. And that's a whole nother episode probably. But yeah, I would put them on there as a good, solid group. Yeah. Very influential.
I think I'm running out of people right now. Or
I'm sure there's others.
But there's definitely other people that's not coming to mind that should be.
Yeah. But no, but it's good to know. I mean, you always see like some of these metal, rock bands. You see like Rolling Stones. They're like 108 years old or something. Like that, and they're still up to rocking. So it's good to see some of these groups that have done that. But I wish there was more.
Yeah, that's another conversation I would like to have too, about, I guess, hip hop and then other genres. Mm-hmm. So like you said, like rock with the Rolling Stones and stuff like that, how they all sticking together.
Well, it's two main guys in the Rolling Stones that have been together the whole time. Uh-huh. They have had a few other, their drummer and bass player, they've kind of alternated a little bit, but it's always been Mick and I should know his name. I know his name, I just can't think of it. But it's definitely kind of a different world. Like, I think the way people look at it is.
Yeah, I think the fans are different as well.
Yeah.
Because I believe with rock, I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like rock doesn't really age with the fans, because it's like, what I'm trying to say is, like, your age of rock, right, can still consider it to your daughter's age of rock. Yeah, she can still listen. So like, it doesn't.
Yeah, where hip hop
dies out.
Very. Yeah, it's still kind of seen as, like, I think, a young person's game.
Yeah, it's where the young eat the old.
Yeah.
So they guess where hip hop is.
And I do think that is a problem with the culture, is that there's not, at least overall, I know in the more independent side, there's a lot of respect for the forefathers, but in the mainstream side, there doesn't seem to be
no respect.
Yeah, you have people right now that have probably never even heard Rakim rap.
Yeah.
I think, they should pass a law, like a federal law, that says you're not allowed to release a rap record unless you've listened to every Rakim song and wrote like a 5-page paper on his importance to it. I mean, that's
to have a whole essay on his band.
You got to write an essay on Rakim and KRS-One, and I'm not saying you have to like them, but you need to understand.
Yeah, and that's where we need to get at too, because like, you might not like it. Like, of course, like, especially if you're young and you coming from the era whatever era you coming into, and you hearing the music that you like, so you don't really want to go back to listen to what you don't like. But I feel like you should understand, and
especially if you're making the music as a listener, I think you benefit from it from listening to the old stuff, but I can understand not necessarily going back. But if you're making the music, you should definitely
have a responsibility.
Yeah, have some sort of, have looked into it a little bit and understand. Like I said, you don't have to like think that Rakim is the greatest, but you should understand why so many people consider him to be the greatest. Understand his impact to it.
I mean, a lot of rappers right now are just kind of like I just started making music and that's what it was, and then everything kind of starts with them. Yeah. So they don't believe there's really nothing that's kind of behind them.
It's like, my first introduction to rappers was like Run DMC and Rakim and stuff. Yeah. Kids growing up these days, their first introduction to rap was like Fred Flintstone rapping on a Pebble commercial, But yeah. They don't have that same
outlook as
Yeah, but I definitely think the music that people would make would be better if, and that's not to say rock is great at that. There are a lot of bands in rock that don't look at their, the foundations, but good ones do. And you can see the difference, the ones that actually understand, why Tony Iommi is the greatest guitarist of all time.
I mean, I don't know who that is, but
he's the, it's been said that every riff ever written, Tony Iommi already wrote.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So, but I mean, you there's a lot of bands that they respect them. Yeah. And they may not even sound like them or even try to sound like them, but they understand that's the roots of the music.
This is where it comes from.
Yeah. So, all right. That was a long tangent. We're off on that one, but we're about to wrap it up. But as we've been doing, we're going to try our top 5.
Okay.
You want to pick it or should I pick it this time?
I'll go again.
I'll go again. All right.
Let me see. I got a couple of these bad boys. Let's see. Top 5 songs about nothing. About nothing.
What was I thinking when I came up with that?
Oh my goodness.
Oh Lord.
There's a lot of songs out there.
Yeah. And even ones that are about nothing are about something, I guess.
Right?
I don't know. This is a stupid one, but Buttermilk Biscuits by Sir Mix-a-Lot. Really stupid song, but it's about buttermilk biscuits.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess that's not really a top song, though. That's just one that popped in my head about nothing.
Yeah, well, this is going to have to be it. It's going to be a lot.
And there may be a deeper meaning to this song, but I don't know it. But it's Hot Potato by Freestyle Fellowship. And basically the whole song, they're rapping about potatoes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it might be a deeper meaning.
Like, say, knowing them, there might be something more to it. But to me, and I remember it because that was, I think, the first song I heard by them. And I was just like blown away. I'm like, these folks are rapping about potatoes and making it so freaking entertaining. And like so interesting, like it's so like just great wordplay and stuff. So yeah. So I'm gonna say that's one that's about nothing.
Well, let me see. Yes, these top 5 would really be taking me off guard. They do.
They sounded good when I came up with them, but now I'm like, wow, that was.
No, it's crazy. It's crazy because when you are thinking of it, like like right now, like if you told me like top 5 songs to that's about nothing, I feel like I could just boom, boom, boom. But it's like now I'm on the spot.
Yeah, now you're on the spot. Yeah.
What? I'm trying to think. Oh my goodness.
There's got to be more out there.
I feel okay. Well, I mean, it's really not about nothing, but I had listened to this song on my Guilty Pleasures episode was the strictly for the funk lovers, Scarface.
Okay, because it's just kind of
him just talking. Yeah, it's just him just talking on it, and he's not really talking about nothing. So yeah, I'll have to add that.
It's a good one. Trying to think. I mean, there's like some of the interludes on like De La Soul's like Democratic. It's just stupid.
The Democratic.
Yeah. And I think every time it comes on, I listen to that whole thing because it's just silly.
Yeah.
So I guess that would be considered one.
I want to say Kanye's Scoopity Poop.
I don't think I've ever heard that, but
I mean, he just literally saying like Scoopy Doo Poop. Poopy D's all on the record, on the song.
Wow.
So I'm about to add Kanye. Yeah, I mean, that's a song that's literally about nothing. So I don't even know if that's the name of the song or not, but yeah, that song. We got one more to name. Let's try to.
Trying to think here. Let's see.
If you guys listen to this, name some in the comment section right now.
Yeah, if you guys can think of something.
I gotta go back and look at this because I don't. I cannot think of one right now.
Yeah, I'm looking at my records, but none of them are popping out.
All right.
Can't even read half of them. I'm blind. So. Yeah, I don't know. Like something about nothing. Got to come up with one more at least.
Yeah, one more. We just need one more. I know I'm missing.
You're gonna cheat.
Yeah, well, I'm at least try to look at something. Let's see what I got in here.
Let's see. I want to say there's probably something by E40, just because he's always making up some words. So there's probably something there that we could.
E40.
Biz Marquee, Picking Boogers. Would that be a song about nothing?
I mean, yeah. I
mean, it's about
picking. It's about picking biggers, but I mean, it's not really about nothing. Well, Lottie Dottie from Slick Rick be one. No. I don't know, because he was talking about like a little story.
There's a story in there, but I mean, yeah, that one's kind of because it's you just kind of different things, but
yeah,
but there is a story. Yeah,
I can't even like find it. I feel like everything.
I mean, it's like some of the one-hit wonders we talked about, like Bust a Move. I mean, that's just about dancing, so that's a story about nothing. I mean, if you change it to songs without substance, there's thousands.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, because I could name a lot of them. Then, yeah, I guess that's what we should say. Songs that don't have substance in it.
Yeah. Well, then we would never stop listing those. If that was, we'd probably draw a blank on that one too. So.
Yeah.
Let's say You Be Illin' from Run DMC.
You Be Illin'.
I mean, because there's a part where he goes to order fried chicken, but it's a Mickey D's or not a KFC. Like, so there's just, so that might be one. I don't know. It's been so long since I've listened to that song. But that might be one that you could consider about nothing.
I'm sorry.
We failed.
I'm drawing a blank.
So yeah, our few listeners out there, viewers out there, give us some feedback. Let us know what you think is a good song about nothing.
About nothing. Yeah, give us your top 5.
Yeah, give us your top 5, and if there's good ones, we'll bring it up.
You definitely have
make somebody famous
more time than we did. So.
All right. Well, thank you for watching another episode of the Mad Panda podcast. As usual, please share, like, subscribe. We'll keep building together.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.